my mom was eventually diagnosed with cancer. I thought it was just a regular sickness. I was only 13 years old, so I thought that she was going to get better. I thought it was a common cold or something. So then I found out my family was keeping a secret from me that eventually she was going to be passing away. So they told me about 3 days before Christmas. And then after that, 3 days later, after Christmas, she passed away on the 28th of December. After that, I just literally started losing it. I started, smoking weed. I started hanging out with the wrong crowds, doing a lot of stupid things. And next thing you know, about a year later, of a lot of the chaos that was going on, I actually wound up getting in some major trouble. But what happened was I had some so-called friends that were my friends. They were teenagers. I was only 15 years old. The others were about 16, 17, 18. But we decided to rob somebody one night because we thought that was the cool thing to do. We wanted to do that. And just so happened, a robbery turned fatal. Somebody, accomplice that I was with, wound up shooting the guy. And he shot the guy in the head. I didn't know what to do. Soon but not shortly, I was on the run. Next thing you know, these very same friends, who I thought was my friends, was the one starting to point the finger. But here it was, I was facing murder charges.
We here. Let's go. Listen, everybody, welcome to another episode on Unshakeable. I'm your host, Kenneth Thomas. That's my co-host, Guy Still. And we got the one and only, the author, the man himself, Biggie Smalls in the building. So now, we got my man, Keenan Hudson in the building. Give it up. Let's go, baby. Yes, sir. Listen. We looking like Biggie and Puffy right now. You know what I'm saying? We looking like Biggie and Puffy right now.
Stop it.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, Keenan walked in, and I'm like, yo, bro, how tall are you? Like, he's like, yo, I'm 6'7". And I'm like, hey, yo, I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting like maybe 6 foot. He said 6'7". So my man Keenan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me here today.
Hey, man, thank you for coming on, man. So listen, man. Congratulations on the new book. Shout out to the new book and everything. Let the people know what the new book is.
Oh yes, the new book is called The Unspoken Truth and Life Story of me, Keenan Hudson. And it's a really powerful, impactful story. Yes, sir. That's going to change literally a lot of people's lives throughout this world.
Let's go. Yeah, so we're going to let y'all know where to get that. It's going to be a link in the description below. All right. So listen, if you haven't already, if you're watching this live, if you listen to this back, go ahead and share this with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa, abuela, abuelo. Listen, share this with everybody. I'm telling y'all going to be blessed with this story today. All right.
Yes, sir.
So listen. Make sure I click the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome, because we're about to get into it. All right. Yeah. Listen, I like that hoodie you got on, brother.
Hey, man, I like it too.
I like that. You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, I do everything I can to match this man's energy. You already know I had to start with the hoodie. We looking good. We looking good.
Yes, sir.
I need a 6X. So
yeah, 6X.
Remind Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Got you.
Yes, sir. Hey, Matt in the back, make sure you write that down. We need a 6X for Keenan.
Yes, sir.
So check it out. So Keenan, let's jump into it, man.
Cool.
Let's jump into it. I have read a little bit about your story, but I don't want to spoil it for our audience. So I wanted for you to start off. Who is Keenan Hudson?
Wow. So who is Keenan Hudson? So let me first start off saying that I am from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I grew up, born and raised there. There was a lot of trouble in my childhood. I was real troublesome. Me having ADHD, come up single mother household, and eventually I had a stepfather. But eventually, I felt as though that nobody understood me. I just always did what I wanted to do due to my hyperactivity and things to that nature. So further on in life, my mom was eventually diagnosed with cancer. Now at this time, I was already getting kicked out of school left to right. I was, getting in a lot of fights. Me and my brother, we never got along. It was just a lot of things going on in life. So once my mother was diagnosed with cancer, I thought it was just a regular sickness. I was only 13 years old, so I thought that she was going to get better. I thought it was a common cold or something. So then I found out my family was keeping a secret from me that eventually she was going to be passing away. So they told me about 3 days before Christmas. 3 days before Christmas, and then after that, 3 days later, after Christmas, she passed away on the 28th of December.
Wow.
So after that, I just like literally just started losing it. I started, smoking weed. I started hanging out with the wrong crowds, doing a lot of stupid things. So again, my aunt had came in to take over, custody because I was only a child. I was a kid, and next thing you know, about a year later, of a lot of the chaos that was going on, I actually wound up getting in some major trouble. Major trouble at the age of 15. And I'll give you a brief synopsis of what happened, but as Kenny mentioned, I don't want to spoil the whole thing. I want you all to read the book. But what happened was I had some so-called friends that were my friends. They were teenagers. I was only 15 years old. The others were about 16, 17, 18. But we decided to rob somebody one night because we thought that was the cool thing to do. We wanted to do that. And just so happened, a robbery turned fatal. Somebody, accomplice that I was with, wound up shooting the guy. And he shot the guy in the head.
What?
So that right there in itself, seeing that right before my eyes, really was life changing. So here it was, I didn't know what to do. So soon but not shortly, I was on the run. Because when you are conspired to do something, it's just as worse as you pulling the trigger yourself. Right. I was part of the team. I was part of, at least that's what it was supposed to be. Right. But here it was, I was on the run, and next thing you know, these very same friends, who I thought was my friends, was the ones starting to point the finger. Wow. They started, oh no, he did it. No, well, no, how come, oh, they got us all then. But here it was, I was facing murder charges. First degree murder. Bunch of juveniles. 15 years old. Certified as an adult. Wow. Wasn't juvenile court. Wasn't going to the juvenile justice system. No. CJC, the actual criminals, as adults. So next thing you know, later on down the line, by the grace of God, because they were talking about giving us the death penalty, but they had just passed the law that said you can't sentence a juvenile to death anymore. They talked about giving us the life sentence. But by the grace of God, my family was able to obtain a lawyer that actually knew the law and knew different things that were going on. So again, I'm not gonna get too, because it's all in the book. But what happened was I wound up actually going to prison, spending 12 and a half to 25 years in prison. Wow. At 15 years old. 15 now. Yeah. Now mind you, I was still growing. I was going through puberty. I was maturing. Right. Just imagine your child. This is something to understand right here. This is a nugget. Yeah. Just imagine if your child was only 15 years old, certified as an adult, and about to spend almost half his life in prison. Wow. That's powerful.
What do you do, right? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's powerful.
I couldn't imagine being in that position, at 15. Because at 15, I'm playing on my, high school basketball team. We're playing baseball or something like that, and going to school dances and, being an actual teenager. You know what I'm saying? I'm not thinking about, going to prison and spending life, in jail. You know what I'm saying? So before I pass the guy, like, what is going through your mind at that point at 15?
Wow. At that point, with my life flashing before my eyes, having the understanding that I would not be going on the senior prom. Right. I would not be going on the South Hop. I would not be going on the senior trip. I would not be graduating, going to college. These are some crucial moments. These are some pivotal situations that you will go through in life, for an average person. I wouldn't be able to see that. Right. So here it is. Wow, I'm going to have to probably spend my life, the rest of my natural life in prison. Yeah. Well, for some reason, I kept focused. I kept my mindset right. Yeah. I had to believe that something was beyond this.
Okay.
Even though I went through what I went through, I didn't want it to define me. And even though it was early on for me to distinguish that,
Right.
but I had to face the reality. You're going to be doing time because you was involved in this criminal activity. So when I came to that realization, I said, okay. So I wound up tightening myself up. I wound up studying. I wound up, getting closer to my God, which came later on in time.
That's right.
But at the same time, I was blessed.
Right.
I learned and I studied, took trades. I learned the gift of music while in prison.
Right.
A lot of people would say, hey, I thought you was a kid when you was playing. No, I learned in prison. I learned to master different skills, different crafts. I learned to direct choirs. So when people say, hey, how do you know these different styles? I can play the gospel music, I can play the corridos, I can play the salsa, the merengue, bachata. I can go there with these different things. But people say, oh, wow, how did you learn that? But it's only by the grace of God. It's nothing that I've done on my own.
Right.
But again, I gave a brief summary of, of how, like I said, God is good.
Right.
God is God. I just had to say that.
Right.
And like I said, and for me to transition
Right.
is another whole story,
Right.
And the way things, transpired.
Yeah. I mean, I sit here like quiet because although I know some people in similar circumstances and situations as that, right? I'm talking about close to identical, right?
Wow.
A situation like that tends to make me think legacy, right? So when you are going through this and you return to the streets, right? It would have me ask you, what legacy do you want to leave behind, seeing as though these types of situations can take everything from you?
Wow. So the legacy of leaving behind, and if I'm answering your question the correct way, of leaving here on the earth, is to show individuals, show the world that, hey, there are serious situations that you can land in.
Right.
That's easy to get in,
Right.
but extremely hard to get out.
Right.
So we have to literally try to think, especially for a lot of young people today.
Right.
We have to think about the consequences behind our actions.
Right.
This is very important.
Yeah.
And not only that, but even with the parents.
Yeah.
Parents, we have to teach our kids things we learned late in life. We have to teach them that early.
Yeah.
That if you get into this, just know, look, it's going to be hard to bail you out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell you, because the charges that my case carried, it didn't carry a bail.
Right.
My grandmother wanted to put up the house, but they said no. It's not that type of case. Oh, this is serious. This is capital punishment. So it's no joke. But the legacy, like I said, to leave is like to leave an impact on kids. Throughout the world, to say, hey, choose a different direction.
Yes.
Don't be a follower.
Yes.
Don't follow that crowd.
Yes.
Be a leader.
Be the leader.
Yes.
Be a leader. Now, it's going to be a time in your life where you could be a good follower, following the right leader. But at the same time, don't get caught up in those streets.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, a follow-up. What have you done with your life since you've been out to represent that?
Wow. So I'll say this. So when I came home, home back in 2016.
Go ahead.
So by the grace of God, I've been home 6 years now.
Amen.
So my first job was at a daycare.
Okay.
Right? I was security and I was the maintenance there.
Okay.
Right? So I held it down. So before I came out, I had to make sure, I said, yo, when you go out here, it's not going to be easy.
Yep.
Mind you, my mom had passed away. My father lived in New York. But I was just on I was really by myself, but I had little help because I had a pastor that was on my side and a godmother, but that was it. So came out, started working. Had to stay focused. I knew that it was going to be a bunch of sexual immorality out here. It's going to be temptations. It's going to be a lot of different things. But I said, Lord, I'm going to trust in you. So I stayed focused. I'm talking about for 2 years straight. All it was work, You know, it wasn't just work because had to go certain jobs because if I left somewhere, I went somewhere I got a promotion.
Right.
They wound up having to let me go as a seasonal hire because once it got my paperwork out the central office, they said, "Oh, he's a convicted felon. You gotta let him go."
Right.
So, but I never lost focus. I never lost hope.
Yeah.
I said, "No, I'm gonna keep grinding."
Go ahead.
I had to walk in the rain. I had to, my bills were paid. Thank God, I was saving money. I wasn't spending. I wasn't looking to, I want to please this girl. I want to be this. I want to drive this, that, and the third. So I kept money. So throughout that time, I knew that race wasn't going to be given to somebody that was just trying to rush and hurry up and live life. So since then, I was crawling before I could walk. I wound up getting a Chevy Lumina 1999, which was my first little car. By this time, I started, the Lord blessed me to start teaching music. I was teaching music to individuals.
Okay.
So I became like a music teacher. And then eventually I landed another job somewhere else, which required more of my time. But from that, I was able to save up. I was able to open up my own rental car company, which is called City Rental Cars.
Yeah.
I was able to establish real estate. I was able to buy real estate houses. A lot of people don't know what it is to sit at a settling table, to know what it is to go before a processor. But here it is. I've came out and was able to do things to that nature.
And this is all in like 6 years.
In 6 years, that's powerful.
In 6 years.
In 6 years.
So hold up. Let me just stop right there because I want the audience to understand how powerful God is, yo. When you stay faithful and when you have this unshakable faith, this unshakable mindset, like fam, you said you was walking in the rain, right? You said that you was a janitor, like you said that you was sitting there working at the daycare, you know what I'm saying? And then you get a promotion and they sat there and said like, yo, we gotta let you go because you're a convicted felon, like, you know what I'm saying? But I want y'all to understand the type of favor that this man has right now, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that he has that favor, it's like, it's unshakable. Like, it doesn't matter what your situation is. If you partner with God, like straight up and down, like if you partner with God, there is nothing that can shake you. There's nothing that can break you. But here's what also that I got, right? He had unshakable focus.
Yes.
He had unshakable focus because listen, there are a lot of people that get tempted. There are a lot of people that in your situation that are like, all right, bet, oh snap, I'm free. Oh, I got money. Oh snap, let me go ahead and boom, boom, boom. Let me go ahead and spend. But here you are being a good steward over the money that you got. Listen, it's not, and this is the powerful thing I want people to understand right here. This is what I got from it, right? If you are diligent and strategic with your finances, right? God will then accelerate, right, to where he wants you to be, because in this short season you are showing a level of faithfulness, right? And you are saying like I am focused on this, and that is it. You are blocking out every other distraction possible, right? Now, you know, here it is. People that never even been incarcerated can't even do that.
Right. And I'm going to add to that, right? If you're unshakable just with your life and you're strategic just with your life in general, not just your finances, with your life, because you know what? A lot of cats that come out of jail after that type of time, right, they go back to doing what they used to do. They go back to doing the same old thing, and they end up back in the same old place over and over and over. So strategic, yes. Unshakable, yes. And listen, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And it's powerful that you just said that, that people go back as a dog returns to his vomit.
Go ahead.
So when you look at that, now this is a nugget. I went into prison at 15 years old, right? So everything I knew out in the world went on pause. It went on pause. I went into prison. I grew up in prison. I learned to be a man inside of prison, right? But when the doors turned for me to return to society, right? The only thing I remember was 15.
Right.
Here.
Right.
I grew up here.
Yeah. Yep.
I grew up mentally in there.
Yeah.
I knew the mentality in there.
Yep.
But the only thing I knew out here was 15.
Yeah.
I get it to the city off the bus. I'm taking public transportation.
Right.
I said, wow, my old high school. I wonder if my friends still go there.
Wow. Wow. Because all you remember is 15.
Right. Yeah, in there you had to change the mind to change the game. Because let me tell you something. You grow up in there, and if you are able to grow up and mature in those type of circumstances, you're going to come out and you're going to see the world ain't changed nothing.
Ain't changed nothing.
You've grown, you've matured,
Right.
but you come back, the streets is still there. Wait.
It's the same. It's just people that moved on with life.
Right.
Yeah.
People
Go ahead.
grew up.
Go ahead.
People had kids. I'm looking like, what? Oh, I thought you grew up.
Yeah.
They looking, we grew up. We know who you are, but we don't care who you are, you know.
Right.
But again, it was the mindset. But people will say, okay, well, you're not in prison no more, but you could still be bound mentally.
Yeah. Yep.
But let me speak on that, right? You can be bound mentally, right? But here's what I see God saying. There's no prison that God can't break into. You know what I'm saying? And even though you were locked up, you know what I'm saying, because you were, an accomplice to a certain situation, right? You look at someone like a Joseph. You look at someone like a Paul, right? You look at someone like a Silas. They in the mix, right? And even from Joseph's situation, it was about who? It was about his company that he was keeping around. You know what I'm saying? His company that he thought was his brothers.
Wow.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
Powerful.
Thought that they was his brothers and everything, but meanwhile, here you go. They got you. We gonna toss you down because we see something. Listen, this is why I always say the enemy know you great before you even know you great.
Wow.
And listen, the enemy can only tempt you. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to you to hold back that flesh from actually moving forward and doing something. You know what I mean? Now, legitimate reasons or whatever give you like, yo, your mom, you know what I'm saying? You going through these different situations and everything. Like you only like a kid at this point. And you know what I'm saying? You trying to be accepted. You're trying to be, like you looking for family. There's a void that was missing in this man's life. And it's like, man, what is a child to do in that particular moment? Gotta grow up fast, right?
Amen.
That's what they tell us. You gotta grow up fast. But what happens when you can't grow up fast? What happens when you don't have that mindset, right? What happens then? You end up in certain predicaments where you think that it's okay to be in this particular situation, but in reality, like, yo, you harming yourself, right? So here's a lesson for any young kid or whatever that is watching this right now, right? You got to evaluate your circle like your life depends on it, because it does. Because when you look at this man right here, this man's life, this man got 12 years of his life stripped. You know what I'm saying? Stripped because, like, for something that he didn't do necessarily, you know what I mean? You ain't do it, you was just there. You know what I'm saying?
Partake in the crime.
Right.
But did I shoot it?
No.
I didn't shoot the gun. Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? But you gotta watch the people that are around you. Bring up those questions. Like, yo, is this cat really gonna have my back? Like, if things like fall south, like, what's going to happen?
Right.
What's going to happen? You know what I mean? Because oftentimes you find these kids in these situations all the time. And I've spoken to the prisons. I've spoken in the juvenile detention centers, and you see these kids. They want to get better. They want to do different things. They want to just live their life, right? They don't really want to go out and do some of these harmful things, but it's the situation that they in. the situation that they're around, the environment that they live in, right? That creates this mentality of I gotta go out and do this. Otherwise, I'm gonna be looked at. I'm gonna be looked at as a punk, or I'm gonna be looked at as this, or I'm gonna be looked at as soft, or you know what I'm saying. I tell my son Caleb this all the time. He's 13. Yo, bro, like it's cool that you read at night. Like fam, like it's cool that you do that. It's cool that you, before you go to bed, that you in your book. I gotta tell him to go to sleep at night because he's reading his book.
Wow.
And it's multiple books.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's cool to do that. Don't ever lose that.
Yeah.
It's cool, yeah.
I think you know, speaking to the youth as well, right? There are situations that we go through in life that make us grow up fast, and I'm honestly, the anxiety and depression that's out there in youth today, sometimes they want to do it because they want to do it, not because somebody else make them do it. They want to do it because, hey, not just they want to be the man, but they don't value life. Yeah. Right? And if they don't value their life, they ain't gonna value nobody else's.
Nobody else.
Right. Facts. Yo, check this out. There was a video I saw where this guy said how TikTok is ruining, you know, childhood. Right? Wow. TikTok is ruining childhood because during the early 2000s there was this flat line of, you know, depression, anxiety and stuff like that amongst 12, 13-year-olds,
right.
14-year-olds.
Right,
right?
100%.
Flat line, boom. Right? By the time 2010 hit, 2012, I think he said 2012 hit, boom, skyrocket. Depression, anxiety, you know what I'm saying?
Wow. It's a real thing.
Kids harming themselves
right.
and stuff like that. You know what I mean? More with girls.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But what are we looking at, right? What we're looking at right now is the fact that, you know, a lot of these children are getting this dopamine hit, you know what I'm saying, from scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, right? And then what happens then, now this is where it kind of correlates to your story, right? Where, well, who's your real circle?
Yeah.
Who's your real friends? You think TikTok is your real friend?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You got to start questioning TikTok now. You know what I mean? I got to start questioning Instagram. Instagram, do you really have my back?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think so.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, which of these people really have my back?
TikTok don't talk back. IG don't talk back, but people do.
People do.
You know what I'm saying? So it's about finding the right individuals around you in order to go to that next level. Now, 6 years you've been out, right? And you making these strides, like you're like it's like you are. Did you get out and say, you know, I got to catch up, or did you just go with what God was telling you to flow? You know
so when I had got out, I knew that things were going to have to come over time. I knew nothing was just going to happen. You know, I didn't know how to open up a bank account. I didn't have my driver's license. You know, I didn't know how to leverage credit. So I knew that it was going to come in time. But you made a key point. You said surrounding your circle. Who's your mentor? Who's your coach? That's very crucial. It's crucial. You know, like who can at least lead you to the water?
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That was very crucial. And like I said, it was somebody I had that was there. Like even when because people are going to fail you in life, period.
Go ahead.
That's just in general. People are going to fail you
for sure.
You know what I mean? And they're going to disappoint you. That's going to happen. But we all going to need somebody.
Right.
You're going to need somebody to ask questions. You know, hey, could you teach me how to do this? How do I do this correctly? How do I do that? And thank God I did have that somebody.
Right. Accountability.
You know, that's accountability, and that's very important.
Yeah.
And actually, my accountability actually came from my godmother, which is an elderly woman.
Okay.
You know, she said, look, I can't teach you how to be a man, but I can show you the fundamentals of living life.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? I can show you, okay, you can go open up your bank account, put this here.
Yeah.
I can show you a little bit about the stocks. I can show you about your credit, you know, because your credit takes you places where your money can't.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people who's taught that when they're kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So here it is. I'm trying to learn it, let alone when they're taught it as adults, because people so you know in a rat race, you know, in life, they don't get time to learn these things. So having that, like say, mentor, an accountability partner, is what really laid the foundation. Like, wow, okay.
Right.
But I took it and ran with it. See, you have to if somebody's trying to teach, you have to be receptive.
Go ahead.
That's right.
Yep.
You can't just try to challenge them. They done lived it. They have the experience. So why would you try to challenge somebody that's trying to teach you?
Yeah. Willing to listen.
And
the willingness.
You gotta be willing to listen.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have to, man.
That's so major. That's so major. That's so major. So we're at now you're at a point where you're striding, like, what is your 2023 look like for you? Like, what are some of the ambitions and the goals and the things that you want to achieve going into this new year?
Wow. So, as Kenny mentioned, I have the book coming out, The Unspoken Truth of Life Story.
Where can they get the book, by the way?
So right now, as of today, it's on Kindle, under Keenan Hudson. But the actual physical book is going to come out January 16th.
January 16th.
Which is actually my birthday, by the way.
Come on now.
But it's
Come on now.
It's cool.
Let's go.
But January 16th is going to be out on Kindle book. Well, it's going to be on Amazon, and it's going to be on my website as well. And that's where you're going to be able to get it. But for us, for 2023, I've learned so much in 2022, and I'm still learning. I'm still learning. Like I said, it's a privilege for Kenny to even have me here today, because I actually, decided to actually reached out to Kenny. This is amazing. Because I said, Kenny, I need help with coaching. Like I need a coach in my life, showing me some things, on the trajectory of my life, the way it's going, and I believe that that's going to have a huge impact.
That's right.
Because we don't know everything, and we have to learn to be humble, and again, being receptive, of what's going to be taught. So, like I said, if you guys haven't already, get with Kenny, best coach.
Come on now.
Being the coach,
Come on now.
mentor around, which I believe is going to really have a big impact on my life. And what's going to the next level. Because a book is just one thing, but delivering the message.
That's right.
Yeah.
Getting your point across.
Yeah.
Getting understanding, speaking, really helping people to a certain level is what I believe that in 2023 is going to be leveling up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mindset, like you said, unshakable
mindset.
It's just going to be. It's just going to be powerful.
Absolutely. So by the way, guys, if y'all want coaching, holla at me, straight up, real talk, real talk. I give you the game. Ask Matt in the back. You know what I'm saying? Ask my man God still. You know what I mean? I got testimonies for days. So all the grace of God. But listen, right? And that's powerful. Now we talking about 2023. We talking about being unshakable, right? Here's one thing that I want the audience to do for 2023. Now I did a on the community tab on our YouTube page, I posted a question. The question was, how much time are you spending with yourself before you serve or help others? Right? Now this is a major question, okay? Because this is the real statistic. 78% of America, 78% of America believe in self-care. But that same 78% serve everybody else 10 hours a day before they even serve themselves.
Right.
That's a crazy stat.
Wow.
Right? Technically, I'm only talking about women because that was the stat. It didn't even say nothing about men.
Yeah.
It said women do that. Women serve everybody else 10 hours a day before they serve themselves. Before you get your mani, before you get your pedi, before you get your hair done, your lashes did, your face beat, all of that.
Wow.
You go ahead and you serve everybody else. Now, while that is noble, it is not sustainable long term.
Yeah.
Because eventually you'll end up, breaking out. So here's what I got, fellas. We got the question of the day, right? We got the question of the day, right? And what we're going to do, we're going to answer some of the questions from the community, right? We're going to answer some of you guys' questions, and we're actually going to answer and react to some of the comments that you guys put on there as well too. So I wanted to lead in, right? So the question of the day is, how much time do you set aside for yourself each day before you serve or help someone else? So Guy, I'm going to talk to you real quick, brother. I'm going to talk to you. This is the first question, right? From, I'm going to butcher this name. Lehi Letty, I'm gonna just say Letty Parrish. Letty Parrish. I hope I said that right. So she answers 0. 0. She says, I barely know what I look like before I go out the door. Yeah. God even makes me take a seat sometimes when I find myself having to sit down because I physically can't do anymore. Right? What type of advice can you give for Letty?
Be selfish. Right? It sounds crazy, right? You can't help anybody else if you can't help yourself first.
Come on now.
Right? You have to be selfish in that way of bettering you, building you up. Look, the word says sometimes we got to build our own self up, encourage ourselves, right? So sometimes you have to worry about you in order to best serve everyone else. Like, it's cool, and like he said, it's noble, but we have to shift our minds to being in better condition inside ourselves. And we always talk about that, right? Changing and shifting and growing inside ourselves, inside out. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Inside out. Like, you serve, but are you growing yourself inside? Are you serving yourself so that you are best suited to serve someone else? Right?
Amen. Yay. Hey, clap it up for God right there, right now. Come on now. All right, let's go. So check this out. Check this out, Keenan.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna give you Miss Coco Monroe. Shout out to Coco Monroe.
Hey.
All right, Coco Monroe, if you're watching, okay, we see you. Okay, we see you. Listen, Coco Monroe writes. She says none. Right? She has absolutely no time for herself.
Wow.
This is powerful. She says, I've been a parent since I was 10, babysitting my mom's friends' kids while they went out. Became a teen mom myself at 16, mother of 5 and married at 26, grandmom now, parent of a pre-law student, a new Marine, future cosmetologist. My 16-year-old does this and another job after school, a farm tech, and then there's the one kid that's giving me all sorts of hell at the moment. Husband works from home, comes home once a month, right? I'm sorry, husband works away from home, comes home once a month. Everything succeeding or failing depends on me. I'm so tired, and the fact that I also have a chronic illness leaves me little to no time for myself before servicing others. To that you say, what?
Wow.
That's major.
First off, sister.
We gotta drop the bomb on that one.
Wow. First off, let me tell you, you have a story that you can convert into a book.
Come on now.
You have a story, my sister. What you've been through. But I will say this. The things that you have been through, you've seen a lot of success before your eyes. You raised some good children. Even though you're going through what you're going through, yes, you are supposed to set time for yourself. As my brother Guy said, you are to set aside, be selfish sometimes. Even if it's on the weekend, be selfish sometimes.
Amen.
We all want to have fun. We all want to go around, we want to do different things. And like we always want to see a smile on other people's faces, yes. But at the same time, when is enough enough? But I encourage that you at least take some type time out, whether it be before the day begins, have that quiet time in your secret place, and figure out what's going to make you feel better than what you would do as if you wasn't doing it on a normal basis.
Right.
Because that was a lot in a nutshell, and that's a lot you're battling. Yeah. But my sister, I believe that with prayer,
Come on
offering it up, with all praises, giving thanks, with prayer and supplication, God is going to hear your prayers. But that was powerful right there.
Yeah,
King.
it was.
The way,
it was.
and I'm like blown away, like when the answer's
it's
like
crazy. It's crazy, man. Because I would say this. I would I would say that if anyone, let's just take you for example, right? And God forbid something happens to you. You said that failure and success depends on you. Mm-hmm. If you fall by the wayside, who's going to catch you? Mm-hmm. Right? Yep. If you are always taking care and trying to uphold everybody else, this can get straining at some point, right? If we are always doing this and pushing everybody up this way, right? I'm going to tell you straight up, it's easier to do this than it is to do this, right? I'm going to say that again. It's easier to do this, right, than it is to do this, right? Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Today, right, God bless my mom. My mom hits me up, and I was on my way out to go grocery shopping and everything. My mom hits me up, said, "Babe, I need you. My car broke down." I said, "Where you at?" "Coming." Boom. You know what I'm saying? I come to go start the car up. You know what I'm saying? Not turning over, like engine shot, done. That thing couldn't even turn over. So hit my man up. I said, "Yo, my mom need a tow. Can we make it happen?" Cool. My mom is on the side of the road. Can't leave the car here. So what do I start doing?
Push.
I start pushing. And let me tell y'all, it was a hard push.
Hard push.
It was a hard push. She got SUV. You know what I'm saying? I'm 134 pounds, people. You know what I'm saying? I'm 134 pounds.
Yeah.
And I'm out here, and I'm pushing, and I'm pushing, and I'm pushing. And as soon as my mom made that turn, once we pull up into the gas station, that's when it got harder. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. It's much easier to pull it than to push it. Because as I'm pushing this thing, I'm using all the strength that I got. This was God-given strength. I think this was a Samson type strength. You know what I'm saying? That I was pushing because my legs start burning, right? My legs start burning. Everything start turning, and it's like, you know what? I gotta keep going. This is my mom. I gotta make sure I get her out. Gotta make sure I put, you know. So although that you want to push for people, and even my wife, you know what I'm saying? My wife is 8 months pregnant, you know what I'm saying? She does so much for this family. Wow. It's hard for her to even sit down because it's in her nature. And oftentimes when it's in your nature, you can't sit down. You don't want to sit down because you feel like you're doing a disservice to people if you take something for yourself. Let me tell you something. No, you're not. Right? No, you're not. Listen, we are not called to work 7 days a week. That's why God made a day of rest, period. Right? Because our bodies have to rest up for the other 6 days. If you continue to push like that, you will run yourself into the ground. That's just a fact. And I don't know who needs to hear that right now, but I'm here to tell you something. You gotta rest, right? You gotta rest. You cannot sit here and be Superman or Superwoman and think that you know if I don't work today, then the world's gonna fall. No, it's not. It's gonna keep turning. It's gonna keep going, right? You have to make sure that you take that set, because guess what? It's easier to pull than it is to push at the end of the day.
Yeah, I'm gonna add to that. Listen, there's a lesson for the people, right? This is man, woman. That story right there, Miss Monroe, is amazing. But find out what fills your cup.
Come on now.
Find out what fills your cup.
Yeah.
Right? So what we do is, gentlemen, we get accustomed to serving and helping others so much that we lose ourselves in other people. We lose ourselves in relationships. We lose ourselves in serving at our job. We lose ourselves and who we are and what we are destined and put here to do.
Come on.
Find out what fills your cup and allow that to be your driving force, your gasoline.
Right,
I mean, to your point, right?
Yeah.
Find out what fills your cup and spend time in that. Do not lose yourself in all these other things. You guys have done a great job, I'm sure, of pressing and pushing through these obstacles and trials and tribulations of your life and giving to others. I'm a servant leader too. But find out what fills your cup.
Yeah. And in order to do that, you're going to have to spend some time with yourself.
Go ahead.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
You're going to have to be comfortable with, listen, in this is what I learned in business, right? In business, either you become an operator or an owner. Right? Now, if you're an owner, that means you put people in place and they go out and they do the job because you own it. You know what I'm saying? You're not operating it. Now, if you're operating it, you know what I'm saying? Now you self-employed. Now you got a really expensive job at this point. You know what I'm saying? And you keep working and you keep working and you keep working. You're in an operating position because you can't take your foot off the gas because you got to micromanage everything. You know what I'm saying? So what happens when you don't have to micromanage anymore, right? Good leaders understand this quality to raise up other leaders to go out and be a dictator, you know what I'm saying, or a distributor, right? Or someone not a dictator, I'm sorry, the right word to use is a delegator, right? Learn, not dictate, but delegate. Right. So we want to be, as leaders, we want to help. We want to be able to delegate responsibility to certain people so that things get done, so that we have our time back.
Yeah. Leaders build other leaders.
Right. Leaders build other leaders at the end of the day. Exactly. So when we start to do that, guys, we then start to become more unshakable in our life. We become more unshakable in our mindset. We become more unshakable in our being because we're able to take on more tasks, more things, because we got things happening over here. We got things happening over there. Listen, there's a bunch of things that you guys don't know that we're working on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? And they're working for us. You know what I'm saying? We're not working for it. It's a difference. So I want people to understand that, man. Like, everybody, like, I charge you with this, right? Before we close it out, please make sure that you take time for you. Please make sure that you dedicate time for you in 2023. Please make sure that you dedicate some time to make sure, because here's the deal, right? A football player has to make sure that their body is ready for Sunday.
Correct.
Right? Basketball players, sports athletes, they got to make sure that their body is ready for their team. What good are you if you don't take care of your body after a long day of practice, or after a game of hard hitting another team beating you down, right? What good are you to the team for the following week if you don't take care of your body throughout the week, right? What good are you? You're gonna be putting yourself. You're not putting yourself in. You're not prioritizing who you are. You're not prioritizing yourself enough to make sure that you are available to serve. Because if you're not taking care of you, how can you be available for somebody else? Amen?
Right.
Amen? Listen, y'all, this is a super dope conversation.
Yes.
Keenan, did you enjoy yourself, brother?
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. Thank y'all for having me here.
Listen. This is going to be the last thing, all right? You got 8 billion people listening to you right now, right? Just imagine that, right? Going into this new year, they only listening to your voice.
Wow.
What do you tell them?
Stay focused, never give up, and keep the unshakable mindset.
Period.
It's never the end. There's always hope.
It's always hope. And there it is, y'all. There it is. Listen, y'all, when we change the mind, we change the game. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow worry about itself. And today's all we got. And today's all we got. You make sure you impact today the best way you know how. Go ahead and cop my man Keenan's book. It's going to be a description in the link below. Make sure you guys go ahead and get that. And if you guys want some Unshakable merch, that'll be in the link below as well, too. Make sure you guys go ahead and get the... Listen, Christmas is coming up now. Christmas is coming up. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you go ahead and cop that. We're going to have a 6X on deck as well, too. Listen. For myself, Kenneth Allen Thomas, my man Guy Still, our guest Keenan Hudson, my man Matt in the back with Big Dallas. All right? Listen, we love y'all. We check y'all later. Share this with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa, abuela. Share with everybody. Make sure you hit the link in the description below. Make sure y'all subscribe for more positive and motivational content every single day, daily. It's the Kenneth Allen Thomas, not the show, but the Unshakable podcast. We'll check y'all later. Peace.
All right.